Sigma males are often seen as quiet, strong, and independent. They move through life without needing approval or following the usual rules. People call them lone wolves because they walk their own path. But what many don't see is that some Sigma males carry heavy emotional scars. Behind the calm and confident appearance, there can be trauma that shapes how they think, act, and connect with others. Trauma doesn't always come from one big event. It can come from years of feeling misunderstood, from broken trust, or from pain that was never fully faced. And because Sigma males tend to deal with things alone, they don't always talk about it. Instead of reaching out, they turn inward. They analyze, they retreat, and they stay quiet. On the outside, everything seems fine, but inside they're carrying weight that changes how they live. This makes their trauma harder to spot. They don't lash out, break down in public, or ask for attention. Instead, their trauma shows up in quiet patterns, habits and choices that look normal but are really signs of pain. These habits affect how they trust people, how they work, and how they see themselves. Many Sigma males believe they need to be strong all the time. They think showing pain is weak. This belief keeps them from healing. Over time, it becomes a cycle. They stay isolated even when they need connection the most. They stay in control even when it's hurting them. And they avoid vulnerability, even when it's the one thing that could help. This video explores 7 common behaviors that Sigma males with trauma tend to show. These behaviors don't mean something is wrong with them. They're not failures. They're signs that something deeper needs attention. And by understanding these signs, Sigma males can take steps toward healing without giving up the strength and freedom they value so much. No one heals by pretending they're fine. Real healing starts with being honest. It starts with noticing what's really going on inside. For Sigma males, that can be hard, but it's possible. And this video is here to help start that process. Behavior number 1, emotional suppression. One of the most common signs of trauma in Sigma males is emotional suppression. These men often grow up believing that emotions are dangerous, weak, or a waste of time, so they learn to push them down. They don't cry, they don't complain, and they don't ask for emotional support. Instead, they try to solve everything with logic and self-control. This might work for a while. It helps them stay calm under pressure and avoid getting overwhelmed. But over time, suppressed emotions don't disappear. They build up. They start to leak out in other ways, through stress, anger, withdrawal, or even physical health problems. The Sigma male might not notice it at first, but people around him start to see the tension. Suppressing emotions can also affect relationships. When a Sigma male doesn't express how he feels, people close to him feel shut out. Partners might say, "I never know what you're thinking." Friends might stop trying to connect. This creates more isolation, which the Sigma male often accepts, even though it deepens the pain. The reason for all this goes back to trust. Trauma teaches Sigma males that showing emotion can be dangerous. Maybe they opened up once and got hurt. Maybe they learned early on that no one cared when they were in pain. So now they protect themselves by staying quiet. They think, if I don't feel too much, I can't get hurt again. But this protection comes with a cost. Emotions aren't just problems, they're signals. They tell us what matters. They help us connect. When they're ignored, life becomes dull. Joy feels flat. Love feels distant. Even success feels empty. Suppressing emotion doesn't just block pain, it blocks everything. Some Sigma males also use work or hobbies to avoid feelings. They stay busy, always chasing the next goal. On the surface, it looks productive, but it's really a way to avoid sitting with their own emotions. They keep moving because stopping feels too risky. Healing starts by making space for those feelings. That doesn't mean breaking down or becoming emotional all the time. It means learning to notice emotions when they come up instead of pushing them away. It means naming the feeling, anger, sadness, fear, and sitting with it for a moment. For many Sigma males, this is the hardest part. They're used to being in control. But emotional health isn't about control. It's about balance. It's about letting feelings in without letting them take over. Some Sigma males find that writing helps. Others try meditation, therapy, or talking to someone they trust. The method doesn't matter as much as the willingness to try. Letting emotions out in small, honest ways can make a huge difference over time. By learning to express feelings in a healthy way, Sigma males don't lose their strength. They grow it. They become stronger because they're no longer running from what's inside. They become more connected, more present, and more alive. Behavior number 2, hyperindependence. Sigma males are naturally independent. They don't follow crowds. They don't wait for others to lead. But when trauma is involved, this independence can become extreme. It turns into hyperindependence, a belief that they must do everything alone, no matter what. This belief usually starts as protection. Maybe someone they trusted let them down. Maybe they were made to feel like a burden, so now they think the only way to stay safe is to never need anyone. They stop asking for help. They avoid support. They rely only on themselves. At first, this looks like strength. They handle problems on their own. They take pride in their self-sufficiency. But over time, hyper-independence becomes exhausting. Life gets harder than it needs to be. Small problems turn into big ones, simply because there's no one else involved. It also blocks connection. Relationships are built on trust and support. When someone never lets others in, those relationships stay shallow. Partners feel pushed away. Friends stop offering help. Over time, the Sigma male feels more and more alone, not because people don't care, but because he doesn't let them. Hyperindependence also shows up at work. A Sigma male might refuse to delegate. He might turn down collaborations or ignore advice. He believes he has to prove something, that relying on others means weakness or failure. But in reality, this mindset just slows things down and limits growth. Another problem is burnout. Trying to carry everything alone eventually drains energy. Even the strongest people need rest, support, and help sometimes. Sigma males often ignore the warning signs until their body or mind forces them to stop. To move forward, they need to question the story they've told themselves. Is it really true that needing help is weak? Or is that just something they learned from pain? The truth is, accepting support takes courage. It shows self-awareness and strength. It's not giving up, it's choosing to live smarter. Letting others in doesn't mean giving up control. It means building a team, a support system, a real connection. It means sharing the load so they can focus more on what matters most. For a Sigma male, this change can be hard, but life-changing. Behavior number 3. Overanalyzing social interactions. Sigma males with trauma often become hyper-aware of their surroundings. This includes how they interact with people. Instead of moving through social situations naturally, they analyze everything. What was said, how it was said, what someone's body language meant, whether someone's tone changed. This habit might look like caution, but it usually comes from fear. Trauma teaches people to stay alert. It sends the message that danger could be around any corner. For the Sigma male, this turns into mental overdrive. He doesn't just read the room, he studies it. He looks for signs that someone might lie, betray him, or turn against him. This level of analysis becomes automatic. And while it might protect him in some cases, it also creates constant tension. In normal conversations, this overthinking gets in the way. While the other person is talking, the Sigma male might be too busy scanning for red flags to really listen. After the interaction, he replays it in his head, searching for hidden meanings. Did she mean that as a joke? Was he being fake? Did I say too much? These questions don't stop. They drain energy and cause anxiety. This behavior affects how others see him too. People might feel like he's distant, hard to read, or slow to warm up. Even if he's trying to connect, the overanalysis makes things feel stiff or guarded. He's watching the conversation more than being in it. And that makes real bonding difficult. The root issue here is safety. A Sigma male who has experienced betrayal or emotional pain wants to avoid it happening again. So he tries to predict and control every interaction. He wants to be ready for anything, but the result is emotional distance and exhaustion. Social life becomes a battlefield instead of a place for connection. To heal this, Sigma males must learn to loosen their grip. They need to realize that not every interaction is a test or a trap. Most people are not trying to deceive them. They're just being themselves, for better or worse. This shift doesn't happen overnight. It starts by noticing the pattern. It means asking, am I reacting to the moment or to my past? It also helps to take social breaks, walk away, reflect, and come back grounded. The goal is to stop the cycle before it spins out of control. Mindfulness can help too. It teaches presence. When a Sigma male is fully present in a conversation, he stops spiraling into what-ifs. He listens, responds, and allows things to unfold naturally. This doesn't mean letting his guard down completely. It means giving people a chance to show who they are without jumping to conclusions. Social interactions don't need to be perfect. They need to be real. And when a Sigma male starts trusting his instincts without needing to analyze every second, he starts building stronger, healthier relationships. Behavior number 4, avoidance of intimacy. For Sigma males with trauma, intimacy can feel risky. Letting someone get close means exposing weaknesses, showing emotions, and giving up control. These are the very things they've learned to avoid, so they keep their distance. Not because they don't care, but because getting close feels like opening an old wound. This avoidance shows up in romantic relationships first. A Sigma male might date, connect, and even fall in love. But when things get too close, he pulls back. He might stop texting, cancel plans, or emotionally withdraw. It's not always on purpose. Sometimes he doesn't even realize he's doing it. But deep down he's protecting himself. He may tell himself that he's just too busy, or that relationships are a distraction. But the truth is more emotional. He's afraid. Afraid that if he opens up fully, he'll be judged, rejected, or hurt. Afraid that history will repeat itself. So he stays at a safe distance, close enough to feel something, but far enough to avoid real risk. Even in friendships, intimacy is hard. A Sigma male might have many acquaintances but few real friends. He might talk about ideas, work, or current events, but not his past, his fears, or his hopes. Vulnerability feels dangerous, and to him, keeping people at arm's length feels safer. But over time, this avoidance leads to loneliness. Human beings need connection, no matter how independent they are. Without emotional closeness, life starts to feel empty. The Sigma male might excel at work, stay fit, and chase goals, but something is always missing. He feels alone in a crowd. Avoiding intimacy also prevents growth. Close relationships reflect our strengths and weaknesses. They challenge us. They teach us about empathy, patience, and communication. When a Sigma male avoids intimacy, he misses out on those lessons and the chance to grow into a deeper, more fulfilled version of himself. The key to change is small steps. Intimacy doesn't mean sharing everything right away. It starts with trust, letting someone in little by little. It means taking emotional risks with people who have earned it. It means allowing closeness, even when it's uncomfortable. Therapy can help here. So can journaling, honest conversations, and mindfulness. The goal is to learn that intimacy isn't the enemy. When shared with the right person, it's healing. It's the space where a Sigma male's true self can be seen, accepted, and loved, not just respected from a distance. Behavior number 5, perfectionism. Perfectionism is another common trait found in Sigma males who carry trauma. On the surface, it looks like discipline. These men set high standards, work long hours, and refuse to accept anything less than their best. But underneath, perfectionism is often driven by fear of judgment, failure, or being seen as not enough. For a traumatized Sigma male, the idea of being flawed feels dangerous. Maybe in the past he was criticized harshly. Maybe someone made him feel worthless unless he performed perfectly. Now, he believes that if he does everything right, no one can hurt him. Mistakes become something to fear, not something to learn from. This mindset pushes him to excel. He double-checks everything. He stays up late, redoing tasks. He takes on more than he should, trying to prove he's capable. But no matter how well he does, he never feels satisfied. There's always something more to fix, something that's not quite good enough. This cycle leads to stress, burnout, and even paralysis. The fear of getting it wrong can stop him from starting at all. He'll delay projects, skip opportunities, or stay stuck in planning mode because nothing ever feels ready. His goals stay just out of reach, not because he isn't skilled, but because he's trapped by his own standards. Perfectionism also creates walls in relationships. He expects too much of himself, and sometimes of others. He might judge people harshly, even when they're trying. He might push partners or friends away, thinking they'll leave if they see his flaws. This makes connection harder and adds pressure where it's not needed. The truth is, perfection is an illusion. No one gets everything right all the time. Trying to be flawless doesn't protect against pain, it just creates more of it. Real growth comes from being human, from trying, failing, learning, and trying again. Sigma males can start to change this by challenging the voice that says, "Not good enough." They can look at their patterns, where they delay, where they overwork, where they shut down, and ask why. They can also practice self-compassion. That means treating themselves with the same kindness they'd offer a friend. Setting high goals is good, but chasing perfection out of fear is not. When a Sigma male learns to aim for progress instead of perfection, he unlocks more of his potential. He gets more done. He takes more risks. And most importantly, he feels free, not just successful, but alive. Behavior number 6, distrust of authority. Many Sigma males with trauma carry a deep mistrust of authority. This might show up as avoiding bosses, challenging rules, or resisting anyone who tries to lead them. On the surface, this looks like independence, and it often is. But when trauma is involved, the behavior runs deeper. It becomes a defensive response, built from past experiences of betrayal, control, or unfair treatment. For some Sigma males, authority figures caused their trauma. Maybe it was a strict parent, an abusive teacher, or a manipulative boss. These experiences taught them that people in charge can't be trusted. Now, even when an authority figure means well, the Sigma male stays guarded. He sees control even when it's not there. This creates tension in the workplace. A Sigma male may resist direction, question orders, or avoid group tasks. He might do great work, but only on his terms. If someone tries to manage him closely, he shuts down or pulls away. He may also pass up promotions or leadership roles just to avoid being part of the system. This attitude can block success. Not because the Sigma male lacks talent, but because he refuses to play the game. He misses out on guidance, mentorship, and collaboration, all things that help most people grow. While his independence is powerful, it becomes a trap when it blocks support. In relationships, this mistrust shows up too. If a partner tries to guide, suggest, or lead in any way, the Sigma male might feel controlled, even when that's not the intention. He might argue or withdraw, not because he disagrees, but because he fears losing freedom. This fear often traces back to past pain, not the current moment. Healing this pattern means separating the past from the present. Not every boss is toxic. Not every rule is meant to hurt. Not every partner wants to control you. It's important to learn when to stand firm and when to stay open. Sigma males can benefit from choosing their authority. That means finding mentors, coaches, or leaders who share their values. Instead of avoiding structure, they can build their own. Instead of rejecting all leadership, they can lead themselves with clarity, balance, and intention. Trust doesn't have to be blind. It can be careful, earned, and flexible. But when a Sigma male lets go of old fear, he creates space for guidance, growth, and connection, all without losing his freedom. Behavior number 7, seeking solitude. Solitude is a core part of the Sigma male identity. They don't need constant company. They're happy being alone. But when trauma enters the picture, solitude can turn into isolation. What once felt peaceful now becomes a way to hide. A Sigma male who's been hurt often pulls back from people. He stops sharing. He avoids crowds. He even avoids close friends or family. At first, this feels like safety. In solitude, there are no arguments, no betrayals, no judgment. But over time, too much time alone can start to feel heavy. It becomes a silent kind of suffering. He may fill his alone time with hobbies, work, or learning. On the outside, he seems productive, but inside he's avoiding. He's keeping his distance from anything that might stir up emotions, especially emotions linked to trust, vulnerability, or connection. This habit is hard to break. Solitude gives control. And for someone who's been through trauma, control feels essential. But humans are wired for connection. Even the most independent person needs to feel seen and understood sometimes. Without that, life starts to feel empty. The danger of this behavior is that it becomes normal. A Sigma male may convince himself that he doesn't need anyone. He may push away chances for friendship, love, or teamwork, thinking he's just being true to himself. But in reality, he's avoiding pain. And that avoidance keeps healing out of reach. Solitude is not the problem. It becomes a problem when it stops being a choice and starts being a shield. When you can't remember the last time you opened up to someone. When silence becomes the only thing you trust. To shift this, Sigma males don't need to become extroverts. They just need to build balance. That means choosing solitude when it heals and choosing connection when it matters. It means reaching out, even when it feels awkward. It means letting one or two people in slowly and honestly. This doesn't require a big crowd. Sometimes one good conversation is enough to remind a Sigma male that he's not alone. Sometimes one connection is enough to start the healing. The goal isn't to give up solitude. The goal is to use it wisely. As rest, not escape. As reflection, not hiding. That's how a Sigma male can keep his identity and still grow beyond the limits that trauma creates. Sigma males carry a strong presence, independent, focused, and often quiet. But for those shaped by trauma, there's more beneath the surface. These behaviors we've explored, emotional suppression, hyperindependence, overanalysis, avoidance of intimacy, perfectionism, distrust of authority, and isolation, aren't just personality traits. They're survival tactics. They were built during hard times to protect against pain. The problem is that what once protected them can now hold them back. These patterns become walls. They block healing, connection, and freedom. And they often go unnoticed because Sigma males are so good at hiding their pain, even from themselves. But real strength isn't just surviving, it's healing. It's facing the old wounds, the quiet fears, and the deep beliefs that keep life small. It's learning to trust again, speak again, feel again. That's not weakness. That's power. The journey isn't fast. It isn't loud. But it starts with noticing. It grows with honesty. And it becomes real when the Sigma male stops running from himself. Healing doesn't mean changing who you are. It means becoming more of who you were always meant to be, without fear, without armor, and without pain calling the shots. For every Sigma male carrying trauma, know this. Your past shaped you, but it doesn't define you. You are still free to grow, connect, and live fully on your own terms.